Welcome to the Yamaha booth. We are here with Riley and Riley and Ish.
Riley and who?
Thanks.
Riley and Ish.
Okay.
There you go.
Or Itch.
Call you?
I don't know.
I heard.
So Ry is the Yamaha Marine Product Education Manager. That means he knows everything about Yamaha outboards. Ish Monroe is a Yamaha Pro fisherman, and he's used Yamaha outboards for fresh and salt water for a long, long time.
Yes, I do.
So who's better to talk to us about reliability than Ry and Itch here? Fellas?
Matt Lee.
Matt Lee would be better?
Matt Lee would actually be better. He's sitting over there signing autographs, but he's too big for the camera, so, we got to schedule him in.
So tell me, what kind of outboard are you running and on what boat?
I'm running a Ranger 521 L boat that does about 70 miles an hour with my 250 SHO. But then I also have a 34-foot bluefin with the new 425 XTOs. And I'm going to tell you that I am so impressed with those engines. I have seen them. I kind of got to ride in them a little bit. But when I actually own them now myself, I mean, I've gone as far as 90 miles out in the ocean one way where you can't see any land and make it back every single time. And you have to have that kind of reliability.
So now I'm curious though, in a freshwater environment, like on the tournament circuit, how many hours are you putting on your motor a year?
I do roughly anywhere from about 100 to 125 hours in a year, which is a lot on my outboard engine. When you think about it, you fish an 8-hour day, I'm spending an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. So you're talking 100 plus days a year actually on the water fishing. And reliability is everything to me, because I'm that guy that I'm going to make a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, even 100-mile run one way on a lake like Lake Powell, and I need to get back. Because if I don't make it back, I don't get a paycheck. Yeah. And we all know what that paycheck is. That's my house, that's my car, that's my lifestyle, that's food on the table. So I have to have an engine. I mean, I've been with Yamaha for a long time now, pretty much the majority of my career, and I can tell you that I've never blown a power head in all that time, and we're talking thousands and thousands of hours of running an engine, and I feel like I run my engine harder than anybody else out there, and so it's reliable.
Well, you're right, and the whole reliability thing is really important, especially for you, because like you said, if you're 60 miles out, coming back on a trolling motor, you're not going to make it for way ahead. So, with that type of hours and that type of extreme usage that you're using, and you're doing it reliably, what do you do from a maintenance perspective? How often are you servicing stuff? Or
I am sticking directly to the book. I'm that guy, I read the manual. Right. And once again, after the 20 hours, you want to change that oil out, just doing a check on it. Then you're going to do another 50-hour service. Then after that, it's every 100 hours on your service. And then that kind of goes same thing with the lower unit oil. We have the HD gear lube in our lower unit oil now. So for me, it's every 100 hours, I change that HD gear lube, and I mean, good to go. That's the most important thing that I tell people all the time is go to your dealer at least once a year and spend a couple of $100 on maintenance or do it yourself. The one thing about the SHO is we actually have oil kits that you can change the engine oil on your own, and it's super easy.
That's absolutely right. I'm glad you mentioned those oil kits, because those are a really easy and convenient ways, especially for the DIY guys that are going to do this stuff at home, which is pretty common in this type of market. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the saltwater fishing you do, because you live out in Fresno, California, right?
Modesto, California.
Modesto, okay, sorry.
Oakdale area,
Closeville.
But that's the whole West Coast that I get to fish.
Yeah, so this is two very different styles of fishing, two very different styles of boats.
Yes.
But it still comes down to reliability, because needless to say, the West Coast waters, once you get offshore, are very different than fishing on a lake.
Right. So as people that follow me on social media, they see all these photos that I post, 180-pound bluefin tuna, 40-pound lingcod, halibut up to 30 pounds. I mean, I'm chasing them all up and down. So the one thing for me is chasing these bluefin. One day, they're 30 miles out from the dock. The next day, they're 90 miles out from the dock. And so when you get 90 miles out, I'm going to be honest with you, you think about it. You're wondering if your engine's going to start. And I know with a lot of the other brands, they leave their engines running. I turn mine off every time, and every time I fire it up, my Yamaha XTO gets me going every single time. And then the hours and hours of trolling and looking for these fish.
Right.
And, once again, being a 4-stroke, we don't burn any oil, so it's easy maintenance. You don't have to worry about carrying any oil. You put gas in it and you go, and then you maintenance once a year, and life is good.
Life's good, definitely. So Now, the XTO specifically was designed for larger boats.
Yes.
And part of the features of that is helping make it easier to be serviced. Like the fact that you can actually change the gear load with the boat still in the water.
Yes.
So it's just, you suck it out, you pump it in. Do you do anything special with the XTO? Because needless to say, running that in open salt water is a little different than, say, in a fresh water where you're going to flush it and clean it.
Well, the SHO, like I said, easy maintenance. You take it to a dealer. For me, once again, my boat sits on a trailer, so it's the same thing. I could take it to a dealer. But a lot of them guys, and kind of a couple of the boats I've been scoping, they have quad 4 XTOs on it. I mean, every time I sit there and I look at that, I just get that feeling of like, oh my God, I want to have one of those. But when you have those larger boats, like you said, they have to be moored in a slip. And so then what you can do is you can actually change the engine oil out on the water and not actually have to dry dock your boat, which makes things great because a lot of guys don't want to pull their boats out of water because it gets expensive and it's time consuming. So for me, you know, whether you're on a trailer or whether you're in a moor, the XTO makes simple maintenance. That's the one thing Yamaha has done a really good job at, is making it super easy for maintenance. I mean, on my SHO, we're talking an Allen wrench and a screwdriver, and I'm pretty much good to go on changing my engine oil.
Yep. Well, and that's very important because needless to say, part of having a reliable motor is being able to properly maintain it.
Yes.
They go hand in hand.
They do.
So for everybody that has motors, needs oil.
Yeah.
You got to check it. You got to take a look at it.
Exactly. I mean, I got to tell one quick story though, and it's one of the most, I would say the most thing about Yamaha that I love the best. So this is happened about 12 years ago, and I was running down the lake, and it was really, really rough. Well, I had to get underneath the bridge, and the waves were coming. So I shot underneath the bridge as another wave was coming, and I basically submerged the boat.
Oh, wow.
And when I say submerged the boat, we yellow submarine the boat. And the water came out and went into the intakes of the engine. And my guy's like, you're done. You're not. I was like, dude, this is the Yamaha. It's going to start up. I turned that key, pop that key, boom, it fires up. I make it back in with 1 second left, and I actually end up making the top 10 in that tournament. And so that's what I know about reliability. For me, I wouldn't run anything else but a Yamaha because that's what I've always run my career.
Can't take it any better than that. Ish, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Really pleasure having you here.
Glad to be here.